Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Department Podcast. I am Stephen Bologna, joined alongside Jesse Norman for our mock 2.0 here on April 12th as we record. The draft is, I think it's the 16th, so it's 2 weeks away, or the 26th, 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 26, 2 weeks.
So we are coming in hot and heavy, and since our last mock, we had a major trade. So, of course, I think the day after we filmed it,
Yes, literally the day.
The Carolina Panthers traded up from 9 to 1 with the Chicago Bears, giving up, I believe, 2 1s, a 2, a 3, and DJ Moore. So a haul from the Panthers going to the Bears, and who knows who the Panthers are going for. I mean, some say CJ Stroud, some say consensus Bryce Young, and maybe some even Anthony Richardson. So,
well, you're about to tell us right now.
yes, that's true. I know the secrets. So it's going to be a crazy draft. And also yesterday, some potential draft major implications. The Lions move on from 2020 third overall pick Jeff Okudah, sending him to Atlanta for a 5th-round pick. Does corner now become an option for the Lions at 6? I know they signed Cam Sutton, but I think that's all they have at corner. So
yeah, I don't know if I think Aluwari probably is still under contract, but they don't have a number 1 corner.
yeah, no. So, well, you're going to tell us if they take a number 1 corner.
That is true.
I will be picking odds. Jesse will be picking even, splitting it up from last time. Probably not going to do any trades. And we'll try and keep this a little bit quicker this time. So, might as well get started here, Jesse, with the Carolina Panthers. And it's tough. Like, Stroud's are really, they have the world at their fingers. Do you just go safe and take Bryce Young, or do you go CJ Stroud? I've also read that some people in the organization really like Anthony Richardson.
I've heard Frank Reich really likes Richardson.
Yeah. Just kind of seeing them. I'm going to pick CJ Stroud here at 1. I think just all the buzz around them picking him is kind of going well. There's no need to smoke screen. You can get whoever you want. I don't know if you saw that the Josh McCown clip telling Stroud when he lives in Charlotte they can play basketball together. Again, how do you say that to someone, that you're not going to draft?
Unless you feel like they're going to draft him.
It'd be kind of fucked up to say that. So, and again, Stroud is worthy of the 1st overall pick. And all reports kind of indicate that they are linked to him. So I will be picking Stroud at 1.
If you are going Stroud at 1, I will be taking Bryce Young at 2. Bryce is currently visiting with Carolina. I don't know if Carolina is going to pick him. Honestly, for me, it is a toss-up between those two. I don't necessarily believe the Richardson hype. I think the Richardson hype is trying to get the Colts to bite. I really do. And maybe they do it. But I think the Colts just feel fine with letting one of the quarterbacks fall into their lap, honestly. I don't think Houston is not going to take a quarterback. They're kind of smoke screening that, we can maybe take a defensive player. They are they don't have a lot of talent at many positions.
Yeah.
So you do run the risk of, okay, you got your quarterback. What else do you have on this team? So I could see them possibly trading back and getting some more things, but I just don't. They've already done that. I feel like the Texans have already been doing that for a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, do you really want to roll out Davis Mills again?
No, clearly not. They benched him two different times last year.
I think it's time, you're probably not going to get higher than 2nd overall next year. I mean, it's not easy to be bad for another season. Young, if you can get Bryce Young, who knows? He might be QB1 on the Texans board, and you've gotten the 1st overall pick you wanted all along. So just take the quarterback at this point. Defensive ends you can find, Obviously, Will Anderson's very good or Jalen Carter's very good, but it's so hard to find a franchise quarterback. So I agree. I think Young makes sense at two. At three, I mean, this is kind of where the draft really starts because a lot of
This
trade
is
ups
the
can happen
trade
here.
spot. Yeah, this is the trade spot if it happens.
You know, if if um if Indy wants to really secure their guy, they can move up here one spot. Vegas potentially.
I
I've
I think this is a spot where Arizona is going to overestimate their value and they're not going to move. I think they're just going to end up having to take a player because no team is going to be willing to give up what Arizona wants.
yeah. And luckily for Arizona, they have nothing along the defensive line. So due to Carter's character issues, potentially, I'm going to take Will Anderson. Just a potentially huge home run pick if he can really show that elite athleticism and just unbelievable sacking ability at three. I think it's a good pick, but I really think they're going to take it down to the wire on draft night.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree. I do think so as well. Colts on the board. I personally think they have these quarterbacks probably pretty even. I think they're fine with either of them.
Yeah.
My personal preference for the Colts, Levis feels like more of a day one starter, but Richardson is like the prospect I like more.
Yeah.
Give me Richardson, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, give me Richardson. At least in the Steichen offense. I mean that gives him a Jalen Hurts type. You're probably running Gardner Minshew
Yeah.
for an extended period of time. Uh, but you're potentially maybe getting the best running quarterback prospect since Cam Newton. And I understand Lamar was a running quarterback prospect, but he was not touted the way that
Yeah.
Richardson was. Lamar was talked about as possibly switching positions, which he never talked about. But even sticking at quarterback, that was a late first round, early second round prospect. Richardson is a top 10 prospect in this draft. So
Yeah.
you take the swing, I think, if you're Indianapolis. Levis also works there. Not
Yeah.
surprised at all if they have Levis.
I'm with you. I think the draft, I think I do think someone trades up to three and then Indy's kind of stuck with just whoever's left. But like you said, if they have them all even, it's okay. I mean, you get who you want. Richardson's pro day and combine obviously really elevated him, and rightfully so. They were incredible. So Richardson could be a boomer bust. Probably gonna have to sit for a while. So Colt fans might have to watch Gardner Minshew for a long time this season. But like the Mahomes route, it worked out. So nothing wrong with that. So at five, Seattle, you know, looking at the board, do you take an edge rusher? Potentially. I'm just going to take Jalen Carter. I mean, he's there, potentially
Mm-hmm.
best player in the draft. You get him at five. Um, I don't know if you've seen, but he's only taking visits with teams in the top 10.
Top 10. He said the Eagles promised him he wouldn't go past 10.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think here at five is just a great fit. They can use
yeah,
some interior pressure. And if he works out, again, another arguably best player in the draft.
yeah. I agree. I think that's a great fit for him. Character issues and concerns have never mattered for Pete Carroll. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that's a good fit. They need interior on the offensive line, but I just don't do that top five in the draft. You can do that so much later.
You would have the only one would be Skaronski, and you move him to guard. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just you don't take a guard in the top five, even
Yeah,
if he's
no.
a multi-time All Pro. It does not matter.
Yep.
All right, with the Lions on the clock, I think there's only one move to make, and that is at quarterback. I personally, for what they want to run, am going to be taking Christian Gonzalez.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's a great fit there. He's obviously taped off of the charts, his intangibles. Um, he if anybody had a good combine, I don't know if anybody had like a monster combine that jumped them significantly, but Christian Gonzalez had a very good combine that I think established him as a top 2 to 3 corner when it was a discussion of the corner discussion this offseason has been weird
Very
because
weird.
the initial three coming into the offseason was Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
Now the top three is Devon Witherspoon, Deontay Banks, and Christian Gonzalez.
Yep. Yeah,
And
it's been all over.
those other two guys have pretty much fallen way out, and also Jerry Porter is just soared up.
Yeah.
So
Like Cam Smith, I haven't heard his name in forever.
I neither have I.
You know,
Joey Porter was talked about as like the fifth corner originally, and now it's like, oh yeah, he might go top 12.
yeah. Yeah, it's been wild, but this is a deep corner class. But the run could start early on corners if this happens on draft night with Christian Gonzalez, because here with Vegas, this is so hard because Levis is here. And, my only issue is you signed Jimmy G to a 3-year deal and he's so expensive.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to take Devin Witherspoon here because they need
Wow.
they need something in that secondary. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who their corners are or safeties. They need
Mhm.
defensive back help really bad. And with Jimmy
Yeah.
G, if he stays healthy, he can win you games. I
Yeah.
get I get the Levis hype, but also Levis has problems too. So
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think there's bigger needs
Oh,
for Vegas.
there's two trades that I'm looking at here.
All right,
There's two
do it.
that I'm thinking about.
We can do it.
Oh, let's do. I think one makes more sense than the other.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do cross conference. We're doing Falcons are trading with the Titans. Titans are coming up from 11 to 8 to secure that they can get a quarterback.
Okay.
So we'll go 11 for 11 and 72.
Okay. For 8.
Maybe for 8, maybe throw like 228 or something in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, you
That'll
know
work.
what? Flip the seconds too. We'll swap seconds. 41 for 44.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
think
do
that's.
trades. No, I'm not subscribed to PFF.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
ridiculous.
never mind then.
Sorry. All right, Atlanta.
Uh, Atlanta. Damn, I had a whole plan. Um, all right. Well, my initial other trade was going to be for the Packers to trade up and take this guy, but I guess now the Falcons are just going to take Tyree Wilson.
Okay. Yeah,
Um, I like
I don't
I
know.
like Tyree Wilson as a fit with the Packers, especially because they love big edges who can move inside and out. The Falcons also probably could use a player like that to put along with Grady Jarrett along the defensive line because they have not had a 10 plus sack player since Vic Beasley the 1 year. And
Wow.
before Vic Beasley, it is John Abraham
Jeez.
from I think it's 2012 or 2011. Besides the one Super Bowl year of Vic Beasley, they have not had a 10 plus sack player in a decade almost.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So Tyree Wilson, there you go.
Love it. Pick 9 with Chicago. I'm going to be taking a tackle, and let's pair former teammates together with Paris Johnson and Justin Fields.
Yeah. Paris Johnson is
He-
the number one tackle on the board, I think.
he's
Uh,
incredible.
I know Skoronsky is listed up there. He is a guard. He's
Yep.
not a tackle. And Paris Johnson Jr. is the number one tackle. It makes sense for Chicago.
Yep. Philly.
Philly. Hmm. Interesting. Because it's like, what does Philly need? But also, what does Philly want? Because
Yeah.
they usually always just want to stock up that defensive line. It just feels like they always constantly want to go defensive line. But that offensive line is getting old.
I'm trying to think who.
Lane Johnson and Kelsey, I think, have agreed for one more year.
Yeah.
I believe
And then they have Dickerson at right guard.
Dickerson at right guard, Maliata at left tackle, and who's left guard?
It's like Isaac Semualo.
Samualo,
So I
yeah.
mean, in theory, when
Um,
Kelsey retires, Dickerson
Tires
probably just moves to
probably
center.
slide. You know what? You know what? We'll go. We're just sticking with the Eagles. With the Eagles. Normal thing. Give me Nolan Smith
Yep, I
from
was thinking that.
Georgia. I think that's a good fit. He can move all around. He's an edge, but he's also kind of an off-ball linebacker. And look, this works perfectly for the Titans because we can't trade up. They still get their guy.
Yes, I'm with you. But yeah, Nolan Smith is a good pick for them. I mean, Eagles are weird with the drafts. I mean, some years they're really great, and then some years they fucking suck. So
I mean, I think the big thing was all the Chip Kelly years. They missed every single pick that they had.
oh yeah.
That was the big, they missed every single pick.
So at 11, I mean, might as well take the quarterback, right?
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
Malik Willis sucks. Tannehill is old, and Levis.
Old and limited and getting worse.
Yep. So Levis is your guy. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. All
Houston
right,
again.
well, Houston again. I think you got to give the quarterback a weapon,
I
and
agree.
I'm thinking I'm going wide receiver one of Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He's so good.
Um, you could maybe worry about how him and Mechie are going to kind of maybe play a similar role. But as of right now, Mechie has to get on the field before I'm worried about that per se. I think he's going to be a good player. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba only will complement him as well. They have no wide receivers. Like
None.
other than that, they have no depth. They have no pass catchers. If you're going to go out and get a quarterback, you got to give them somebody to throw the ball to.
Yep. I agree. And I've seen a report that a lot of teams have Smith and Jigba as like the only first round wide receiver. So
I honestly would agree with that. I would
yep.
consider that. I don't think there's a I think there's a pretty big gap between what I think his floor is and what I think Quentin Johnston's floor is. Quentin Johnston's floor is a bust. Jackson Smith and Jigba's floor is probably a top 15 slot receiver in the NFL.
I agree. The Jets here at tackle. I mean, at 13, they really need a tackle because
Yeah, Becton looks good, but you can't bet on that.
I know. Plus, I mean, I don't even know who their right tackle is. Max Mitchell, I guess. So I'm going to take Skoronski. You could play him at tackle or you could play him at guard. Just give them some kind of versatility because it's an offensive line that always needs help. So
Yeah, well,
having
they're
a guy
always
that can play
injured.
both is huge.
Yeah.
Patriots.
This would be a prime trade down spot if they could, because I honestly think their biggest need is safety, but I would
Yeah.
not go Brian Branch this early.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at the big board. Let me look at the big board. Uh, New England. Hmm.
Tight end potentially. I know they've
I'm
dumped all their
thinking
tight ends.
yeah, I'm trying to think if they also like they kind of need a tackle because they've shipped out a lot of people.
I
So
don't
I
know if
think
Isaiah Wynn's gone.
yeah, they shipped out Trent Brown too.
Where'd he go?
I believe Seattle,
Yeah.
maybe he went somewhere, maybe not Seattle, but definitely somewhere. I'm pretty sure they sent him out.
Okay.
So at that point, I think I'm gonna go my next highest tackle, which is Broderick Jones.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Patriots just they any offensive lineman they take always turns out to be a stud. I mean, minus Isaiah Wynn, I guess, but
yeah.
it,
And then
it
they get 4 years production from him and ship him out, and then they
yep.
draft another guy, and make him an all pro, and then they ship him out. Just keep turning.
So the Packers now at 15. I mean, I
I
guess
think
they need a
I
lot.
think I think Van Ness is a perfect fit for them because they want those big huge they want those big edges.
Yeah,
Like I think that kind of is what they keep going to in the draft. They also have no tight ends on their roster. Like literally zero, I think.
that's why I was kind of leaning towards tight end with
Yeah.
Michael Mayer, who I've seen people rave over this kid. Like, I've seen people call him like a future Hall of Fame tight end. And I mean, Jordan Love's going to need some kind of weapon, some kind of safety blanket,
Hmm.
because Rodgers is gone. So I am going to go tight end here. Because again, the edge rushers, I feel like you can find kind of later in the draft. I feel like there's a pretty,
Hmm.
where, trade up second round for somebody. There's also a good tight end class. If they wanted to wait, they could, but Michael Mayer, if they have him at tight end one, could be a good fit.
Oh, commies here.
Washington,
I know you're gonna want me to go Deontay Banks, but I'm
do
not
whatever
gonna
you
do
want to
it.
do.
I am going to go with a player that I think Ron Rivera would love to drop into his system, and that is Will McDonald, a Micah
Interesting.
Parsons-esque player. Think of he had Shaq Thompson in Carolina in a way.
Yes.
But I think McDonald is much more of an edge where obviously Shaq Thompson is much more safety interior box linebacker, but McDonald is an athlete that you can
Yes.
move around a lot. I think if you plug him into that front seven, Rivera could probably do some pretty fun things moving him around with all of those other studs that they have along that front seven.
I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it, especially if he can drop back to play some linebacker. That would be huge because they need help in that department. But yeah, I mean, like once you told me about him, I watched some film and he's awesome. Like he can do anything on the field. He's so athletic. So yeah, I would definitely not be opposed to it at all.
I think he would be a great fit with Rivera. I really do think that would be a fun experiment.
So at 17 now, the Steelers.
Oh, you now get to pick for the Steelers.
Yeah. Um I would love to give you guys Joey Porter, but I feel like you
I
guys
take
really need
it.
a tackle.
We do need a tackle so bad.
Um
I wish Broderick was there, but
yeah,
I'd honestly be fine with any of those top three. Any of
I
them.
I think
I think I'd maybe go Anton for just strictly like starter day one, but Dewan Jones
yeah,
might be a stud.
so I this the whole hype around Dewan Jones throughout the entire offseason, just the measurables. That's where I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. I mean, you can't go wrong with a 6'8" right tackle who has great athleticism. So and the Steelers need a tackle desperately. So, like you said,
Yeah.
anyone if those three are available on draft night, like they have their pick of who they want. So
Yeah. I completely agree. I think they have to go tackle. I like it
yeah,
just flat out. I think they absolutely have to. I don't think there's a way around it.
not at all.
I really don't.
The Lions.
Lions. The Lions have been burned by a first round tight end so many times. I don't care. Give me Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
It
Hawkinson was
it is
good. Hawkinson was a
interesting.
good pick though.
It is interesting that Banks is still here because I wonder if you could take a higher guy at 6, take more of a swing and try to get Banks. But I do think Gonzalez just fits
Yeah.
them better. Um, but yeah, the Lions do like taking first round tight ends. So
Yep.
Kincaid's also this is a good tight end class. The next
Very.
2 years of the tight end class is pretty good. Um, I have to assume I just don't like see them needing another wide receiver where like I guess Quentin Johnston would work because he is that big body type receiver. I think we maybe had him going there last time, but I just don't love the Johnston tape, honestly, as much as it feels in game time.
Yeah, I don't like. I feel like he's kind of he hasn't really popped this offseason, Johnson. It was like, okay, he's wide receiver one, and then he really didn't do much. And it's like, yeah, he'll be a one of the first receivers taken. Like, there's just been
Yeah,
no like, oh my god, he jumped how many feet or he ran that fast.
I just think there's pretty decent bust potential there.
Yeah,
I think there's decent bust potential.
it's fair. Bucks at 19.
Hendon Hooker.
God, that would be interesting. But I'm gonna go Brian Branch. Get some
Oh,
versatility. He can play safety, he can play corner. Probably big enough
very
he
good
can
nickel corner.
maybe move and play the linebacker for some snaps. They can use any kind of versatility. They re-signed Jamal Dean and they have Antoine Winfield, but another safety corner would help a lot. So I think
Yeah,
that could be a good fit for them. I mean, quarterback Hendon Hooker. I don't know what like with him, but I could say it. I mean, teams are desperate.
yeah. No, I agree, but I don't think they will go that early. I think if Hendon Hooker goes first round, it's in like the literal last pick or two, and it's because a team probably traded up for him.
Yeah, Seattle.
Seattle. Mm.
They've already
Who did
gotten
who did
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter?
Yep,
Mm. Mm. Jalen Carter. Give me slide back up again. Slide back up again. Think. Oh, I do like making a swing on the offensive line since you already either a swing on the offensive line or I'm thinking like they love their corners so much that do they take Joey Porter Jr.
that would be a really good three.
That's what
Can
I'm
you?
saying. But like they run cover two so much that they pretty much always have a nickel corner.
I'm trying to think who. They have Abraham Lucas, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Who's their other tackle? I don't even know.
Charles Cross. Cross.
So you really don't need a tackle. You
No,
go
you
with like
really
a
don't need a tackle. Like you would, if anything, you would need a guard or a center, and I just don't want to go guard or center that early. I also don't want to grab another defensive lineman though, because you just grabbed Jalen Carter.
That's very true.
In real
Um,
Seattle form, they'd probably just take Bijan since they, got Kenneth Walker last year. Honestly, yeah, I think give me Joey Porter.
all right, let's
Because
do it.
I think if I didn't get Jalen Carter earlier, maybe Brian Brazee, but I think Joey Porter is just the best player available left on the board, besides maybe Van Ness.
Stop. That's fair. 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can get through this. Chargers 21. It's tough because Keenan's getting old.
I think you got to go Deontay Banks.
I
I
agree.
really do.
I
I,
was either him or Quentin Johnson, but I think Deontay Banks is safe. JC Jackson tore his Achilles. You don't know if he's going to come back the same.
I think that contract is now a lost cause, most likely, which sucks.
Ravens with newly acquired Odell Beckham Jr.
Lucas Van Ness.
Let's do it.
They're still rebuilding actual edge rushers on that defense since they had went from that weird blitz heavy scheme. They need legit pass rushers. Minnesota Vikings, everything defense they need. Everything.
Yeah.
Literally every level.
I think they definitely need more interior. So I'm going to go
I would
Brian
I would agree.
Brzee.
I
I'm going
agree. I think
Brian
Brazzi
Brzee.
or Murphy is perfect there for them, honestly.
Yeah, Brzee can be a game wrecker. You really could.
Oh,
Jaguars.
give me Miles Murphy.
Love it.
The brothers go back to back.
Are they? Oh,
No,
I
they
was like,
just both
wait,
went to
bro.
Clemson. No, they just both went to Clemson. No, no, I think that's a good fit for Jacksonville. I think that's a best player available, a very, very high upside, and realistically, Trayvon Walker didn't light the place on fire.
Oh
You
no,
can
he
you
didn't.
can you can keep a lot of edge rushers, in rotation. Don't worry about that.
Giants. looking receiver here. Um, you know,
Johnston would be exactly what Galladay was supposed to be.
yeah, it's either him or Zay Flowers, but they also did come bring back Sterling Shepard, who's going to fill that role. So I am going to go Quentin Johnson. They can just
Yeah, I think
any
that makes
type
sense.
of pass catcher will help them as best as possible.
This is a very easy pick for me. Give me Darnell Wright. I think
Yeah,
they're low. They have to keep loading up that those tackle spots. Tyron Smith has gotta be on that last leg. Like they need to keep turning it because that offense only can run and work if they have an incredible line.
and Darnell Wright gets not enough love. I mean, he literally is a brick wall at right
Oh
tackle.
yeah, yeah. I think he only allowed like 2 sacks the whole year, something like that.
Yeah, and probably throughout his whole career at
Yeah, I think it
Tennessee.
was, or maybe it was like 2 pressures or something like that. It was some ridiculous stat.
Bills at 27. Do we take Bijan here?
No, you just took James Cook last year.
Yeah, I this is tough. Do they need offensive line help?
Yeah, I mean their offensive line is never great personally. I think they also uh, get worse as the year goes on. I don't think they need defensive line help.
I don't
I mean, I
think.
guess I would. Yeah, I think at this point you either go like wide receiver to add another thing, or you go a high upside defensive guy.
I'm just gonna grab Anton Harrison, I guess. I mean, offensive line, you can't use enough offensive linemen. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you who their tackles are. I really couldn't. So
Is Cordy Glenn still there?
I don't think so.
Well, that was the last one I remember. Daryl Dawkins is their left tackle. I know
He's
that.
old, isn't he?
He's getting older. I think he's maybe like 29 or 30.
Interesting.
Um, Here, this might be a little bit of a dramatic pick. Give me Bijan. Joe Mixon has been a problem. Uh,
In the law or on the
I
field?
I both. They had a pretty bad rushing attack last year. I think you could go offensive line, but I just don't love it there. I think this actually elevates your ceiling on offense so much, giving
This,
you this is a top 10 prospect that you're getting at the end of the first round.
yep. This would put
I
them
think
best
he opens
offense
a
in the
lot.
league.
I think it would put him in the discussion, absolutely.
Yep, 100%. With Jamar, Burrow, Higgins, and Bijan. I mean that
Yeah,
literally just signed Orlando Brown for a tackle. Like
yeah.
this team would get back to a Super Bowl potentially. Um, Saints. Oh my god, dude. I don't know at all.
I'd
Like
go. I think you go Cansey, maybe
honestly,
Emmanuel
yeah, because I couldn't tell
Forbes,
you a single person on that defensive line.
besides Cameron Jordan.
He's God. He's
Oh, David Onyemata's been okay.
yeah.
Uh,
Eagles.
Eagles. I just don't see them needing a receiver as much as it being like the primary thing, especially because they love to do AJ Brown and Smith both from the slot. So I wouldn't take Flowers or Addison because I think they're more both slot guys. I guess
Yeah,
give me Emmanuel Forbes. Um,
corner.
Bradbury and Slay are both back, but I mean, how much longer are you gonna do you think that's gonna be a top corner rotation?
Yeah.
Probably this year. We did it,
Chiefs.
folks. We're here.
Chiefs. Do they
I
need a
think you get your
receiver?
Juju. I think you get your Juju replacement.
Oh, that's right. He did leave. Let's grab let's see. Oh, we gotta go Josh Downs, right? I think
I
I think Zay
Jalen
Flowers.
Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt maybe later on in the draft too would be good for them. But he's a second, third rounder that you could grab.
Yeah, I think Zay Flowers has kind of moved up the boards a bit. I mean, like you said, Flowers and Addison are like carbon copies of each other. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take Zay Flowers. A little bit more explosiveness. They do love their explosive players. So
Oh, they're gonna grade it.
I don't think so. No, we don't have we don't
No,
pay
we
for the
don't have
fucking
it.
we don't pay for the premium.
We
It
don't
was
pay
free
full
last
premium.
time, not anymore.
Not anymore. We only get one.
Ridiculous. But there it is, folks. CJ Stroud leads it off. Zay Flowers ends it. Again, next time we will do it so we have trades if we do one more. I feel
I'd
pretty
love to
strong
do
about
one
this
more
one.
with trades. I like this one. I think this one came out better than our last one.
You know, this one's solid. I mean, before we go, is there a prospect in the class that you think isn't getting enough love that you think is going to be incredible?
Ooh. Mm.
For me,
Let
it's
me look at
Darnell
it.
Wright. I
Darnell,
think
right? Darnell. Oh, Keely Ringo. Keely Ringo, I say all the time about. I
good
don't
one.
understand why. I have no idea why Keely Ringo fell out of this discussion of being a first round corner when he's done everything. He runs like a 4-3. He's built. He can press. Like, don't get me wrong, he's probably not a great zone corner, but if you are a man corner team, like I don't know how Keely Ringo is like talked about as like CB5,
I know.
CB6. I would honestly at 17, I would love the Steelers to take a tackle, obviously. The Steelers took Keely Ringo at 17, I'd be like, that's fine with me. The Steelers took Keely Ringo as the first pick in the second round, I would love it.
Well, he'd be available in our mock. Yeah, I
Oh, he'd be
think
available, I think, in most mocks.
yeah, yeah. Ringo's great. I really love Deontay Banks, and of course, like as I start to love him, his name's popping up more, so he's probably gonna go earlier than Washington at 16 with my luck. But yeah, I think Darnell Wright is just a mauler. Even Osiris Torrens, he's probably not gonna be a first round pick, and he is literally
Yeah,
the best guard in the draft. Did not
probably a
allow a
day one
sack
guard
this year,
starter.
and
Yeah.
he is a literal run mauler. So
I think Miles Murphy also is like a freak. Like he can run a 4.5, I'm pretty sure.
that's
Like
kind of nuts.
coming off the edge, he's also built. Like he's not undersized. So getting him at 24, I mean, and I think that's where he's gonna go. Mid-teens and 20s, and he's a stud.
I'm with
Anton
you.
Harrison, probably a day one starter, and you can probably get him in the mid 20s.